Hey, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. So, we're going to do a project called Inner and Outer Self-Portrait.
Oh.
So, what I've done is I've gathered some chalk pastels. Do you like chalk pastels?
Yes.
Okay, great. And did you want music?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, great. So, the first drawing you're going to do is how you see yourself. It can be abstract, it can be realistic, representational, anything that you want. So I'll give you about a couple minutes. I'll give you about 5 minutes, and you can just draw your ideas of how you see yourself.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. How do you see myself?
Yeah, how you see yourself.
Okay.
Great. Awesome. Okay, now, do you need a cloth for your hands?
No.
So now you're going to do a drawing of how you think other people view you or see you.
Okay.
Great. Okay, so the third one is a drawing that shows how you're feeling right now, just right in this moment. Great. Okay, so I'm going to lay these out. Okay, so underneath each one, I'd like you to write 1, 2, or 3 words, just words, that express each thing, each drawing. Like some of the core feelings about each.
3 each or 1, 2, 1?
Up to 3 each.
Oh, okay.
So, and here, what I'd like you to do is write a poem using all 6 words. It doesn't have to be a long poem. It can be funny, it can be, it doesn't even have to, as long as you use the 6 words, or 9 words rather, it can be any kind of poem you want.
Okay. I think I've got all.
Okay. Do you want to read it out loud?
Do I have to?
Well, would you like to? Would you like me to read it, or would you rather keep it private?
Must it be read?
It's up to you.
Oh, I just didn't know if.
It's up to you.
Oh, okay. No, I don't have to.
Would you like me to read it, or you just want to keep it private?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it private.
Okay. So, couple questions. So, what came up for you? Just the feelings of doing this. So, when you were doing your first drawing, like what sort of feelings came up for you?
At first nothing, and then I looked at the colors, and I think the first, it just was sort of baby steps of just deciding what colors they were, and then shapes came afterwards, quite simply and succinctly. Yeah, pretty much.
Great. Do you want to share anything about how you see yourself in it, or do you want to keep that?
No, I think it's fairly balanced with in a few ways in terms of most things.
Okay.
In terms of me, it's pretty balanced.
Okay. So how about the next one?
That's a jumble of all sorts of stuff in a confined space. And the use of my fingerprints and thumbprints, because I hear they're different, worked because obviously everyone's perception of me isn't internally the way I see myself, because I can actually see what's going on in here. What people think of me is evidence of what I show. So fingerprints in and of itself is, you know, pretty distinct mark, you know, that we're only perceived by what we show. So I think the fingerprints made sense at the time, to be the main utensil, encased in kind of a strange thing with lots of nerve endings. And that's a surprise.
That's a surprise.
That's the surprise.
Is that a surprise for you, or is that a surprise
That's a surprise for others.
Others?
When they think that everything is explained.
Oh, or they think they know you.
Yeah.
And then
what's in there?
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't see that one coming.
No. It's not even in there.
It's not even in there.
Yeah. It's a Trojan horse.
Okay. So the third one here. So this is how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, it's kind of hearkening back to the first one. Like any good trilogy. It's not necessarily, I mean, this is sort of, I mean, that's sort of cliche in that it's off the ground. But
Are you feeling cliche?
I'm feeling kind of cliche. And this is fairly ambiguous.
Okay.
which is not a word that I put on there, but it's, because I hate that word. But it's, you know.
It's very light colors.
It's light colors, yeah, and very light fingerprints of sort of mixed, dazed sleepiness. While still trying to grasp on to the original theme.
Did you think that was important for you?
Yeah, because it's how, well, yeah, because they're connected. How I feel about myself and then how I feel about myself now, or how I feel now, is sort of playing on, this is how I'm supposed to be feeling. And then this is all the other things on top of it that I have to put up with.
Okay.
Not put up with, but
Things are just going on?
not even external things, just sort of, just trying to wrap my head around certain things like time and, you know.
Is that what these little, can you tell me about the little red lines?
I suppose they're connecting. Although if you look at the second one here, there's an awful lot of that. So I suppose they're sort of the outward perceptions as well.
I get a feeling that you're holding things up.
I can see that.
Like
too.
it's like if this
It's
is
sort
you,
of an atlas.
like it feels like you're reaching up or feeling up or just sort of a upholding.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not even stressful, but it's just.
You know what it could be? It could be out of body too. Because there's no red lines in this one. Because there doesn't need to be. Because it's me and my own mind. And there's no extenders, there's no cables and adapters.
An internal process.
Right, and of course this is, you know, with the surprise. All of that. So I think this is sort of my true self trying to identify or recognize myself. So it's my own perception of what's up in my head right now. None of it bad.
No.
Just a bit of confusion.
But it's kind of organized too. Like you have a square, and then you have very symmetrical shapes here too.
Yeah, it's organized chaos.
Organized chaos.
I suppose anything, even however weird or abstract, is sort of a pattern.
How about busyness? Is busyness? Or no, that's not a.
I suppose that's what the thumbprints are. Because I'm doing all sorts of things all at once. I suppose the thumbprints are representing what I do to show for what I'm feeling. And they are off balance. They're not even in keeping with the composition. So, yeah. So maybe it's sort of my mindset trying to keep things orderly while I have so many things to do, and just trying to keep them all on the same piece of paper.
Yeah, because this is a busy time of year.
Yeah. But look, they're not even really close to the edge of the paper, so maybe I'm worrying for no reason that they're going to spill out off the face of the earth when they're quite well contained.
Yeah, because in this one, the first one, you go right to the edge.
Yeah, because there's no limits. This would probably be like a virtual reality, you know.
3D.
Yeah, bubble with no corners. But a ground, probably. And this sort of has its own Yeah.
And what I feel from this is that there's a bit of containment, but you're still steady. Like there's a steadiness in this. Kind of a, I don't want to say rock solid. Do you want to share the words that you wrote for each one?
I guess so, yeah. Memory, because so much of, I just have such a, I have a good memory. So there's a lot of who I think I am and that sort of thing is obviously based on that. Looming, because I always think that maybe that square or something like that. I mean, you know, it's the looming, sort of the unknown, probably. The black shapes are not symmetrical or planned in any way. They're sort of, probably like the black box in that one, how they're sort of surprise.
These feel very like organic or, yeah, that one's like a,
I have something planned for you.
definite.
You don't know.
And this is almost.
This is sort of, these are like the shadow puppets in my brain.
I like that.
That aren't dark or ominous.
They're
I
just
think they're
there.
just they are whimsy. They are you know, play.
For me, the word encroaching comes into mind, and that again isn't necessarily a negative term,
No,
but
yeah.
sort of like, you know.
I mean, I've got looming. I mean, that's
Yeah.
sort of.
So I mean, yeah, that's probably what's the last one.
And flickers too, because I thought of maybe candlelight or some, you know, something that's not necessarily like a steady light, but something that can dance around a bit more.
So you used the top part of the paper.
I did. You'd think I would use the side of the paper closest to me. It's funny, I used more of the size of the paper. It could just be because it's the first one I drew.
Yeah, so it wasn't really a conscious decision, you just.
No, yeah, unless, I mean, I can read into it, you know, 50 million things into it. I can say that, you know, there's stuff underneath this sort of oceanic plane that remains to be seen. Or stuff that I can't even make manifest.
That you're just not maybe aware of?
Maybe that I'm but even if I am aware, maybe it's something that even if I am aware of it, there's no way that I can describe it.
Okay.
Maybe that's what I have to work on too, because I'm an artist.
Okay.
So yeah, but I think it's just because it's the first one I did. And my elbow is here, maybe.
So, do you mind reading the 3 words about this one?
Yeah. Broiling, because there's an awful lot of thumbprints in that, and they're not going anywhere else. And I just think I'm sort of perceived as someone with a lot of things going on inside that sort of maybe spit and spark out, but are still pretty well contained. And are spat out in very organized things of different colors. Like, this is for you, and the surprise. Gratitude, because I'm grateful for that I've been perceived in a nice light, and I think I have a lot of gratitude in me. And trivia, because I spit out a lot of very interesting and weird, interesting to me, information like in there. And then how it comes out to other people might not be as Yeah.
I see this as like a little entity that can float, almost like a little alien.
Yeah.
They can float along like a jellyfish.
Yeah.
I want to know if like it can walk on these. You know?
I know. I would give it more briefcases if it could.
Is it a briefcase? Or
It could. It's something containing a huge surprise.
It's a container.
It's a container.
Okay. All right, and the last one.
Oh, right.
Right. So this is how you're feeling now.
Content, because I'm home.
Mm-hmm.
Space. Probably because I was trying to avoid the word spacey.
Spacious.
Spacious, yeah, spacious. Because I just got home and there's so much I can do.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also, you know, space is also contracting and I could fall off the page.
Oh.
No, it's just in terms of like running out of time or thinking, you know.
Right.
Making time for people or making space and stuff like that. And dither, just because it's a good word, and it sort of, I guess it sort of means, you know, dither.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of means what it sounds like.
Kind of a scattered? No, not scattered, but.
Yeah, it's kind of a vague, sort of non-applicable word that you can't really apply to anything. You know, it's sort of it's dither. It was the first thing that came to mind, so I wrote it down.
Okay, great.
Without really try to explain it to myself.
Great.
So yeah.
Well, excellent. Now, how was this for you?
This was this was nice. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do, and then I did it, and now I have something to show for it. So I guess it worked.
Yeah, yeah. It'd be interesting to see what this drawing would be like towards the end of before you have to go back to school.
I know, right?
Like,
everything
would everything be on the
yeah,
edge?
on the edge. With a question mark in the middle.
Interesting.
Where did the time go?
Yeah, I think this is interesting that you're using, for this one, you're using the edge of the paper sort of as like a definite like literal boundary.
Yeah.
In a way.
Whereas this could be a sculpture.
Yeah.
That you could walk around and
Yeah.
expect from all sides.
Right.
And then this is something that you are immersed in.
I like that, because if you're immersed in it, like you're saying, you're immersed in your...
like a bubble.
Because that's how, when we think about ourselves,
Yeah.
we're in our head, you know? And then when we're thinking about other... So that's great, yeah, the sculpture, like something that you can walk around.
Right. So I guess
And
each
then-
one is sort of different
That's
ways
fascinating, I
of
like
doing
that.
something. Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, thanks, Ben.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate it. All right. Have a good day.
You too.